Good morning, folks. It's Wednesday, the 20th of May today. Welcome to your daily update and what is actually going to be your final daily update. I think with the lockdown easing slightly and more plans for further restrictions to be lifted, the time is maybe right to cut down our daily updates to allow me to focus on a few other things we need to start planning for the coming months. So the plan is that from now on we will have weekly updates rather than daily, and they will come out each Wednesday morning starting next Wednesday, the 27th of May. And I just want to say that I've really enjoyed doing these morning videos each day. It's given me a real structure to my day. Hopefully it's allowed us all to feel a little bit more connected as a church family and as a family of believers really over the last couple of months. So thank you all for joining in and following along, and for the encouraging messages you've been giving me since we started all of this crazy journey. I will still be posting afternoon Bible study videos each day for the foreseeable future as we continue to read through the New Testament in a year. So please look out for those each afternoon around about 4:30 or so. And of course we shall be live every Sunday morning from 10:30 each week for our all-age interactive family service. So the only thing that's changing is that our daily updates will become weekly updates and they'll be on Wednesday mornings instead. So don't worry, there'll be plenty of content for us all to stay connected together. For now though, I simply want to do what we always do each day, which is to allow the Lord's Word to have the final say as we bring our daily updates to a close. And when we read the account of Jesus on the cross in John's Gospel, just before Jesus dies, his final words are, "It is finished." And perhaps if we were standing there among the few faithful followers who remained until the end, we might have heavy hearts. Jesus' cries of anguish were over. His life was ended. His mission was ceased. His body was broken. His spirit was defeated. The Messiah was gone. Hope had disappeared. It is finished. But of course, that's not what Jesus meant at all as he cried out those three words. In fact, this was no cry of despair or agony. This was a defiant victory cry. Because in that moment, when all seemed lost, Jesus actually completed the task his Father had given him. Jesus carried out the plan that had been in place from before the creation of the world. Hope was not lost. The Messiah was not gone. His spirit was not defeated. His mission was not over. See, as Jesus cried out, "It is finished," it's not his followers or even his angels who ought to be filled with despair. Rather, it's the enemy, the evil one. It's sin and death who ought to cry in anguish, because Jesus had brought about and secured salvation for the people of God. Folks, we have been through a lot in these last 2 months on a global scale. Many people around the world have died. Many people around the world have lost jobs and are struggling. And no doubt, sadly, there will be more struggle still to come for many. And the world is a different place now. It will take time to rebuild communities and businesses and churches and so on. But always remember that no matter what comes our way, no matter what pain and despair and grief, no matter what struggle comes before us, because of what Jesus did on the cross, because of his sacrifice, and because of his triumphant resurrection, we can have hope. We can trust that God has something better in store for all those who put their faith in him. Psalm 121 says this, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." And just finally, I wanted to read from Hebrews chapter 12. These verses are wonderful and they say this, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let's run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. That's us for today, folks. I'll be back this afternoon with more insight into Matthew's Gospel, and on Sunday morning, of course, for our live service at 10:30. Until then, stay safe and God bless.